As long as it's going to try to blow someone's mind. That's all you're trying to do.
That's what we do on here. We blow people's minds.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Division 1 Rejects. It's episode 68, fellas. We're repping the dogs today. And just like that, we're getting into it. And why am I repping the dogs, you may ask? First of all, I will preface it by saying you don't need a reason to rep the dogs. You can rep the dogs whenever the hell you want to rep the dogs. But today, fellas, Kirby Smart got a massive extension at UGA. That being Georgia. He's now the highest paid coach in college football. We're going to talk about that. And we might lead with that because that is some big time news. You know what? I got a little bit ahead of myself. I'm Kobe Manzo. I'm your host. Over here on the left side of your screen here, Little Manzo Cade. How we doing?
How we doing, guys? Great to be back.
And Jimbo Slice, Slim Jim.
How we doing?
Big Jim.
How we doing? Big Jim's my dad, actually.
All right, medium-sized Jim. We'll go with that.
Everyone calls me Little Jim, but medium-sized Jim.
I like medium.
That's an upgrade.
Yeah.
That's an upgrade for sure. Yeah.
And back on the
Going up
couch,
totem pole. Yeah.
going for a personal record of 5 words spoken today.
Hunter Denton,
Hunter
Jack.
Denton.
How you guys doing?
Great. You already almost hit the prop bet. Was like a 5 over under was 5. So
Definitely hit the over.
And it definitely hit the over.
I hammered the over. It was 5.5.
Let's go. I love it. I love it. Otherwise, on the NFL side of things, Madden's been dropping rankings every day. We already reviewed the wide receiver and tight end rankings. That reaction was pretty common from a lot of fans and spectators alike. But they have, since our last episode, already released rankings, for running backs, corners, safeties, and defensive linemen. We have another addition to the 99 Club. It'll be a huge surprise to all of us. Don't say it. And after that, Kyler Murray, he got a brand new deal in Arizona. It's big time. And we're going to talk about that. Not only that, but what does that mean for guys like Lamar Jackson? That'll be an interesting conversation that we'll have later. And finally, obviously, we're going to have some funny little stuff to react to today. But other than that, ESPY Awards were just last night as I'm recording this on Thursday night, so Wednesday night.
Yep.
Yeah. The ESPYs.
Steph Curry.
Not going to lie to you, did not really tune in. I saw some clips.
I didn't even know that ESPYs happened.
I know, dude. They didn't do a great job promoting it, I felt like.
I feel kind of bad now.
I know, man.
Yeah.
We were just saying.
I'm out of the loop.
Between that and like the MLB All-Star game where we were talking about the viewership was down almost 10% from last year. But, I mean, where is this advertising money going towards? Because we're pretty in tune with the sports game and everything that's going on. And even we didn't really know about it.
I'm kind of disappointed in myself, to be honest.
Flabbergasted.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So we'll talk about that. I saw some clips from the ESPYs, and we'll recap some of the bigger award winners. But otherwise, you can watch this episode on YouTube if you are. Thank you very much, and hello. Don't forget the timestamps on the bottom. If any of those topics sound remotely interesting to you, take that little red thing, fast forward to wherever the fuck you want to go, and then get the hell out. Otherwise, you could always do us a favor, watch the whole thing. Hey, even if you don't, maybe you just do us a favor, hit the play button, let the phone sit over there. You can listen to it.
Anything.
The more plays we get, the more you're helping us out. We can help each other out, all right? We provide a little entertainment. You provide a little watching.
And I have just a quick little comment.
And what's that?
We've been saying PG-13, but I think we're getting close to rated R. Like, we're getting close. We've been dropping a lot of F-bombs, dude. Hey, but it's okay.
You know what?
Yeah.
It's okay, though, because when I upload the podcast, I was looking at the other day, you're either a clean podcast or an explicit
we're
podcast.
explicit, yeah.
There's no in between.
Yeah.
And honestly, before that, we were technically, I think we were still an explicit. I mean, you can't, so I figure if we're going to do it, we're just going to fucking embrace it.
Better go. I don't think I've dropped an F-bomb on the show yet.
Well, I have. So my digital footprint is stained.
I think I'm still up there with the clean guys.
Yeah, we'll see if you make it through this next hour.
No, kid, I think you slipped up a couple times. I think you probably.
I'm usually diligent about cutting or bleeping, but they slip through.
No, like saying having permission to say it. I don't think I said it.
Oh.
I don't know too many podcasts that are actually not explicit. I feel like everyone I watch.
All the good ones.
Yeah.
All the good ones. But you can listen to this good podcast anywhere. Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Breaker, Overcast. You freaking name it, we're there. There's no excuse. We're everywhere. Follow us on Twitter at D1_Rejects and on Instagram at Division1Rejects to see highlights from the show. Fellas, let's lead off with, I said we lead off with Kirby. I think we lead off with Kirby.
Yeah.
Kirby Smart.
Hey, Curb.
Curb. Big time news for Curb. The extension that he just signed at Georgia runs through 2031. It is worth $112.5 million. Like I said, makes him the highest paid, some would say the richest coach in college football. I mean, coming off the season that he just had, is there any argument about this? Is this the obvious move for Georgia to lock him up?
I did see something on Twitter that was like, Kirby Smart just said that they doesn't think that players should receive $10,000 a month. Like, it's not healthy. Meanwhile, he's getting $900,000 a month. Like, okay, buddy, where do you have to talk? Like,
it is very much a double-edged sword.
I like Kirby. I think he's a great coach. I don't like the long. I'm not a big fan of the long term. Like that's a long time to be very good. You know, that's like Saban-esque. And is Kirby Smart? Like that's another debate. Is Smart and Saban on the same level?
And after this year, that conversation definitely changes. But I would think the vast majority would say he's not quite there.
Not in terms of legacy.
Yeah, of course.
If you're saying like right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
I would say Kirby Smart's done a very good job recruiting. I mean, he develops. I mean, look what we did with Stetson Bennett. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like he's a walk-on quarterback, and he just obviously had something to do with developing this kid. I mean, he went back. He was at Georgia and went to junior college and then came back. Like that takes a lot of like knowledge to know to put that guy on the field because like he was kind of overlooked. You know what I mean?
100%.
And
Agreed.
If you have the ability to recognize someone's talent that maybe a lot of other people wouldn't recognize.
It isn't obvious, yeah.
That's a sign of a very good coach. So
agreed. Developing talent at his level is super important because you know they're going to get a very good recruiting class. Yeah, you know they're going to get a very good recruiting class, but what do you do with those guys that obviously have the talent? Now, to put that money and to put that obscenely large number into perspective, I know right away that $112.5 million sounds like a lot. Really, in the grand scheme of things, he didn't exactly just like bring the market to another level. We've got other coaches in the college level that have been making this type of money for a little while. LSU, that deal with Brian Kelly after they took him away from Notre Dame, that was a 10-year, $95 million contract. Now, I mean, you know, that's over a $10 million difference, $15 million difference, but you're still in that same ballpark for a guy like Brian Kelly, who we know has a long-standing legacy and will at Notre Dame. We look at Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M, 4-year extension that'll pay him $90 million over the next 10 years. Still, I think what you could still argue that's in the same ballpark.
Tucker.
And then you look at Tucker's deal was big. Yeah. The other one I have up here is Clemson. Dabo Swinney, 10-year, $93 million. And then Nick Saban, obviously the greatest coach, like him or Bear Bryant, one of the greatest college football coach of all time. His extension in August will pay him an average of $10.6 million through 2028. And then Mel's was a 10-year, $95 million. So really, you think about it, he did, I think, set a new level on the coaching market and kind of expanded it a little bit, but he's not the first guy to really be bringing in and lining the pockets like crazy. All of these coaches have been doing this for a while, have been making this type of money. So I think it helps to put it at least into a little bit of perspective, but well earned.
Yeah, I was listening to, and it's not the same, like, I was listening to two guys talk on the radio the other day just because, I don't know, I was just listening to the radio for some reason. And I kind of agreed with them. They were talking about how all these MLB players are signing, like, ridiculously long contracts.
Yep.
And like how it's really dumb of them. It like if you, like Juan Soto, 14 years, $445 million. Like that's not dumb.
You know, just say that because the market might change.
Exactly. Like if say in 2 years this NIL thing is like ridiculous and like everything pulls through. Like schools are having a fuck ton of money.
There it is. There's the F-bomb.
Like yeah,
It didn't last long.
I'm just saying like. It's almost kind of like the same thing. Like this is going to be a whole new effect on college football. And then there's another thing with loyalty, and you know I'm a big thing about that. Like I don't want Tucker to leave, but what happens in 3 years when they're back to? You know, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but same thing with Georgia. Same thing with like Clemson wasn't good last year. You know what I mean? Like they weren't very good last year. Then Dabo's getting paid a lot of money to not go to even a New Year's Six bowl.
To not come out of the ACC. Yeah, like that's tough.
And you have ups and downs. Everyone has ups and downs here. You know what I mean? Like Clemson will be good.
Remember when Alabama missed the national playoff and everyone was ready to crucify him?
Yeah. Clemson will be good. Mark my words. They will be very good. They're hard-nosed. Dabo will get those boys right. You know what I'm saying? But like I'm just not a big fan of like the 10-year, 13-year. Like I just think there's a lot of trust and there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And the one thing that I think makes this deal a little smarter as far as you talked about that loyalty, Smart is a former Georgia defensive back. That's one thing that you talk about that and his location and where he's been there. He's already been there for 6 seasons in which he's had a record of 66-15. His teams have reached the college football playoff twice. They've played in 5 straight college football playoff or New Year's Six bowl games. And they've got 4 SEC East titles and 1 SEC championship in 2017. So
that's okay.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
It's not bad.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, and I guess the most important thing out of all of that is the fact that he played there, because you're talking about the loyalty thing. Like I don't think you have anything to doubt from a guy like that has tried and true, has been a part of that program, probably seen it in a couple different stages while he's been involved with the program, and now obviously has them.
Good for Kirby, man.
On the up and up. Good for Kirby.
Yep.
We like that for
In
Kirby.
that
Yeah,
right
we do.
curb. In that right curb.
Yep.
But otherwise, we can move on
Absolutely.
to. Let's go. Do you want to go Kyler or Madden first?
Kyler then Madden, because Kyler will be a little bit shorter, I feel like.
I don't agree with that.
Get it?
That's good.
Oh, that was so funny, Kane. Oh, my God.
I guess that right away. That's not
I
bad.
actually didn't even mean to
crazy.
do that, and then,
That's not bad.
it's time to be real.
It is. You want to do your B-roll now?
Yeah, I'd love
do
to,
it.
actually.
Go for it.
Yeah, I want to post something for the snap, too.
You guys go for it.
That's definitely not being real, but that's okay.
Yeah, not at all. If you guys are not on Be Real,
And don't get
what
on
are you
your phone.
doing, man? Get on Be Real. Knock that thing out real quick, and we'll talk about Kyler.
New episode. Tune in at D1R Rejects at Jimmy Martin.
Watch the audio there, pal. But let's talk about Kyler Murray. He's getting paid. The Cardinals quarterback has agreed to a 5-year contract worth $230 million. How much of that is guaranteed? Do we know?
163
Yeah.
160
Somewhere
flat.
or 161?
160 flat.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know the answer to that one.
I was
just wanted
going
to
off
see, yeah.
Twitter what I saw earlier. I can't remember.
Of course, yeah. So 160 million guaranteed. That's, I think, to me, is the biggest way we see these quarterback contracts changing, right? It all started with Deshaun Watson. And really it was because of the circumstances, right? I don't know. I think because they're only giving him that $1 million in this first year, he probably said, if you're gonna do that and you're gonna try and cheese me with this, like I'm gonna need to know that I'm getting this money, right? So with the circumstances of that, whether or not he meant to, he changed the market and changed how these deals are getting done. $160 million 5 years ago would never have happened. You don't see guaranteed money like that. That is a huge investment into a cornerstone piece of any franchise. Now, I guess the question now, I guess we talk about Kyler first. Is Kyler deserving of this money? And what we've seen from Kyler, obviously last year they had their run before the Lions absolutely broke them.
Yep.
They had their run. They were the most dominant team in the NFL for a while, in the best division in football,
First
I will
8
add.
weeks.
Right? So it'd be unfair and it would be wrong to say that we have not seen the side of Kyler Murray and the Cardinals that can be the best team in football. But consistency is a huge part of that.
I completely agree. And I think Kyler Murray deserves a good contract.
He got more than a good contract.
No, I'm not saying he's not deserving of this money. I don't think they're going to win with Kyler Murray right now because Cliff Kingsbury is the head coach.
I think that's what the conversation comes back to a lot.
That's the only thing I'm thinking about is because, like, obviously it's great to have a guy like Kyler, but they're not going to win this year.
But you remember he was at one point like up and coming. Cliff Kingsbury, like
Yeah, but like, dude,
that's like 2 years ago.
Old news now, though.
That was like 2 years ago.
No, dude,
It's crazy how fast that narrative can
It's
switch.
back-to-back years.
They were
The Cardinals
8-0.
have started. No, listen. It's back-to-back years. The Cardinals have started out great and just they go up, and then pew. It's just like, dude.
Sounds
last
great.
year they didn't post the game, the score after the game of the Lions game on Twitter, and part of my take just harassed the Cardinals.
Yeah, Big Cat did.
Like they harassed the Cardinals. It was hilarious.
Hey,
Oh, man.
I'll
That
say
was
this about
so
Kyler,
funny, bro.
I'll say this about Kyler is that I think he'll be as good as his team is. You know
That's
what I mean?
fair.
Like
That's
I
fair.
think that if they can get him a little bit of help, because if you guys remember, D Hop's out,
Diab's out for 6 games.
PEDs.
Yeah.
So
That's correct. I totally forgot about
They
that. I actually totally forgot about that.
They are in a little bit of a. They got to dig themselves out of a hole.
More than a little bit.
And the thing is you're giving this guy a lot of money, saying, "Hey, listen, we need you to come out and just be pissed off." You saw what happened last year. We got embarrassed, and now this year, like, if I'm Kyler and Cliff, like, you gotta try to work this shit out because you guys have started like ridiculous, insane. Like, holy shit, Cardinals won a Super Bowl. Like that's 2 years in a row. You know what I mean? Like, there's got to be something that's breaking point. Like, where are we going wrong? And I like Kyler. You know,
It's not Kyler.
I don't. I'm not saying it's on
No,
Kyler. I'm
really
just saying,
good NFL quarterback.
right? But
Athlete.
do I think that he can like take over games? I think he flows with how the game is going. You know, like big high energy. You know, Cardinals had a pick. He's going deep, and he lost Hollywood, right?
No,
Or he got Hollywood.
No, he got Hollywood. Yep,
Okay,
he
He
got
lost
Hollywood.
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, that's right. He lost
To
Kirk.
the
He got Hollywood.
Jacksonville.
So
Yeah.
there you go. I mean, you get your wide receiver 1 for the first 6 weeks, and then even
Yeah, Rondale Moore, too.
Is he a wide receiver 1?
No.
He's going to have to be.
he was in the
maybe.
Ravens.
Yeah.
But no,
That's what I'm saying.
On the Ravens, he was, but he's not.
had to be.
He's
He has
not a wide
potential
receiver
to
1.
be.
I don't
He
think
has to be now too, though. That's the thing.
He's got, man,
the first 6 weeks,
Dude, he
he
can't
has
catch
to
the
be.
ball.
Yeah,
He
he has to.
can't catch the ball, dude.
I think he might have to be. But going back to the contract, I talked about Deshaun Watson changing the game as far as that guaranteed money goes. That's actually the only deal in NFL history with more guaranteed money than the contract that Murray just signed.
Really?
He's actually making more per year than Patrick Mahomes, which is actually
Murray?
crazy. Murray is making $46.1 million per year. Average annual salary, Patrick Mahomes averages $45 million per year.
Yeah,
Is
but
Now,
Mahomes-
Mahomes was a longer deal,
Yeah.
which hence the much larger, over $500 million, $500 million.
Yeah.
So a larger investment into a quarterback shows more trust. Obviously, we know he's going to be the guy in Kansas City until I die, probably. But I think that's worth noting. That is a lot of money. That is officially the second highest in the NFL, behind only, who do we think? Yearly salary.
Rodgers.
Devontae
Rodgers
Adams?
is correct.
Rodgers is number one.
Rodgers is number one. Kyler Murray is now number two. I guess I didn't realize those numbers, to put them into perspective like that, is kind of crazy.
That's a big token. putting
And
in the
now
machine,
I
man.
think we move it right along. Talk about Lamar's camp. If you're in Lamar's camp right now,
Dude, you
this
got
makes
it,
negotiating.
dude.
I think this makes negotiating really stinking easy, because you go to the table and you say, do you value Lamar as much, if not more, than that team values Kyler? Because that's all the contract's going to say, if you like it or not. So we're going to need all that plus a little bit more,
Yep,
and then maybe throw a little bit more on top of that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
And they're not stupid for saying that.
there's ways as well to like kind of not trick the system, but get yourself where you have more money per year and still guarantee money. You know, they can spread it out among however many years, they guaranteed money.
Also, shout out Steph, new subscriber to the channel. Steph,
Nice.
Hey, Steph, we don't know who you are.
Steph, let's go.
Yeah, we appreciate you, Steph.
That's the first
Yeah. We
live.
appreciate
that's
you.
the first live shout out subscriber, I believe.
You know what? If you do subscribe during the podcast, I'm going to shout the hell out of you.
Hell yeah.
Because we appreciate that. I
As
just
you
got a
should.
notification on the phone, but I'm sorry I cut you off. We were talking about Lamar and his camp.
I just can't stop thinking about Steph now, so we're good. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah.
Yeah.
I think Lamar deserves all the money that's coming to him, because if they don't have Lamar, they're not good. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say that right now. They are
Dude, the
not
Ravens
good.
would be. It showed they were not a good football team without Lamar Jackson last year.
And Huntley played his ass
Huntley's
off.
not bad, but dude,
He played his
listen,
ass
he's not-
off.
but he's not.
But Lamar is like generation. Like this, we never
He's
seen
generational
Lamar.
talent.
We
He
never seen
100% is. And now I didn't realize Kyler Murray, we knew he's only 24. He'd already been under contract through the 2023 season after the Cardinals exercised his fifth-year option, but that was on his rookie deal. I knew he was young, but for some reason, I don't know why, in the back of my head, I thought he still wasn't on his rookie deal.
I thought he was older than that. I feel like he's been in the league for a while.
Isn't that crazy? I knew he
feels
was
like
young.
it.
I didn't
Yeah.
know he was 24.
2019, he got drafted because it went Baker number one, and then Murray, and then Burrow.
And that's really when we're going to see a lot of this big money be coming to a lot of these guys, because they've been playing on those rookie contracts and they feel justifiably so that they've earned this money. And you can't argue with them because they have done so. And for him to come out and make that much of a splash, I don't know the exact details of his rookie deal or what that consisted of, but that's a lot of money, man.
You know what's
That's a
weird?
lot of money. What's that?
You're talking about how you think like he's been in the league for so much longer. Dude, how old do you think Steven Adams is? You guys know Steven Adams?
He's like 29.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
He's 29.
That could be your stat of the day right there. That's crazy.
Wow.
The dude feels like he's been in the league since frickin' Wilt Chamberlain. And he looks 40.
He looked 40. I shouldn't say he looked 40 when he came into
His
the league.
rookie
but he
year,
does
he
now.
looked like he looked like Giannis coming in. You know what I mean? Like how
Yeah.
Giannis is transformed.
Yep.
Sorry, I just thought of that once you guys said that.
But you're totally right, dude.
Yeah,
He was.
super weird. His birthday's today, 29.
Is he actually?
Yep.
Wow.
Happy birthday,
birthday,
Steven.
Steven
birthday.
Adams.
Happy birthday, Steven. Appreciate you, man. Keep doing your thing. Keep looking old as hell. You know what? You're aging fine, though, I guess. I mean,
He'll
shoot.
still give you
Like
13
fine
to 14
wine.
boards a game. He's only 29. That's crazy. Yeah. He looks like a 34 year old.
Pistons are gonna get him. They're gonna Steven Adams.
Let's talk about the Madden rankings. So far, not been very popular with the public. The players, the fans, the coaches have been very outspoken in their dismay. They made a lot of sound effects, like whatever the hell Jimmy just made.
What was Justin Fields rating?
They don't believe they had. Have the quarterbacks come out?
No.
No, they have not.
Oh.
So we're still waiting on
Fields will
those.
probably-
But
realistically, I
who
think
has come
Fields will
out?
be
The
like-
running backs, the corners, the safeties, and the defensive linemen. They have released ratings for all these fellas. We are going to start with the top 10 overall running backs in the Madden 23 class. The reactions right here, the top 10. Here we go. I'm going to read them through, then we can react. Number 1, we've got Derrick Henry. He's at a 97. Number 2, Nick Chubb at a 96. You go down to Christian McCaffrey at a 96 as well. Jonathan Taylor at 4 at a 95. Then Dalvin Cook at a 94. Joe Mixon comes in at 6 with a 93.
How is Alvin Kamara?
Number 7, Alvin Kamara at 90.
The suspension has to be something to do.
Aaron Jones, number 8, 89. Austin Eckler at number 9 at 88. And then rounding out the top 10 is Ezekiel Elliott at number 10 with that 88, fellas. Initial impressions here. Jimmy is not looking happy about this one. What do we think?
How you got Kamara at 7, bro?
I go Kamara at 5, Cook at 4, Taylor at 6.
Taylor at 6 is actually wild. I thought
like
Taylor was going to be
Taylor.
higher.
I like where he's at.
I don't mind it, but you can make an argument legitimately after the year he had last year. You could definitely make an argument for him to be that number 3 guy.
I don't know. I was never a big JT guy, and it's not like
Really?
he's good, but like I just never.
He's more than good.
Yeah.
Dude, he's going first overall in every fantasy league this year.
No, he's not.
Which we know, he has a really good chance to
Yeah.
because knock on some wood for the boy JT.
Who's going
But
first
when
overall,
you
kid?
talk about guys' health as this goes into it, look, Christian McCaffrey. That's the one thing that kind of comes into this. He has the availability for him when he's dynamic and out there. Another guy you don't see on this list is Saquon Barkley because he hasn't really been able to play, which is really difficult for him. But that's something I think you have to factor in as well. So to see Christian McCaffrey up there, I hope he's healthy and ready to go. I think the 1 and 2, I feel really confident about. I think those two are I think head and shoulders above the rest of the pack. As far as when you think of a pure running back,
Jonathan Taylor's in that conversation, dude.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Dude,
I really
think
believe so.
I think Kamara is too. Dude, Alvin Kamara is so good in the pass game. Like people just.
I think, but I think
He
the only
didn't have
difference.
like an insane year last year because like they had a really horrible quarterback situation. Like Jameis got hurt and then Taysom Hill was the quarterback.
I do think
what
the
did
only
JT run
difference.
for last year, like
The only
1,500?
difference. I'd have to
He-
go ahead and look
dude,
it up. 'Cause I don't,
He had more than
but
1,500, dude.
I think the only difference you look at a guy like Kamara compared to a Henry or a Chubb, even a McCaffrey or Taylor, I think those guys are much more traditional running backs. And not to say that they do obviously value the pass game in these overall rankings, but I do think when you look at those top 4 guys, I don't see him making it into that. I don't see him really getting in there. He's a dynamic athlete, but I just don't see it.
Jonathan Taylor had 1,800 yards and 18 touchdowns. last year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, dude.
That's
I
crazy.
had an argument with
Okay,
Tyjon. He's better than Nick Chubb. I think he is.
Dude.
I think Jonathan Taylor's better than
Nick Chubb.
It's really close.
Dog.
They're both incredible.
Have you
running
seen Nick
backs.
Chubb run the
If
ball?
Jonathan
Oh, have you
Taylor
seen
has
Jonathan
to,
Taylor run the ball?
I've seen it
Jonathan
in
Taylor is
person.
unbelievable.
yeah.
Like this is nothing against Nick Chubb. He's a superstar and he's one of the best running backs in the league. I just think Jonathan Taylor's better than him. That's all.
That's fair.
He has another
That's
season.
my humble opinion. That's all. Like,
He has another season like he did last year. He will be.
That's true. Hey,
He will be
we also do
1 and
know
2.
that Madden does love their proven players, right? They don't love to give people big heads as far as like their first couple of years, right? Rookie year
Jamar Chase
especially.
and Jefferson. That's probably why they didn't.
Exactly.
But like still, dude.
We know that Madden does not like to do that, right? They really actually hate it. They
Yeah.
really hate doing that because I don't know if maybe they don't want to be wrong about a player. I think that might be part of it. They don't want to look like idiots if that guy comes out and has a sophomore slump because that word and that phrase is around for a reason. It does happen to a lot of guys. So I think that's it as far as the running backs go. There's one last look for you guys watching if you did want to take a peek at that. But fellas, who do we want next year? Corners, safeties, defensive line? What are we thinking?
Corners.
We think corners. Now, I guess before I pull this up, who do we think is going to be on the top of this list? That should be a pretty easy answer.
Jalen
Ramsey.
Ramsey is number 1, and you would be correct. Here is Ramsey leading off our corners. I'll go through a little bit faster here. 1 through 10, you got Jalen Ramsey, Jair Alexander, Tre'Davious White, Denzel Ward, Darius Slay Jr. coming in at 5, Marshawn Lattimore, Stephon Gilmore, J.C. Jackson, Marlon Humphrey, and A.J. Terrell Jr. I think there's a lot more argument in this one, but I also believe when you talk about the positions, I think the position of cornerback is a lot more subjective when you watch them play. And given certain situations, a running back is much more scheme-oriented. Different teams are going to be... A cornerback is just, you got to go out there and cover someone, right? Definitely. Now, these are overall rankings. They do have separate rankings if you do want to check them out. This is on SportsCenter Twitter, but if you go to the Madden Twitter, they actually break it down, and they have safeties or defensive backs in zone coverage, man coverage, press, ball. They break it down into every single category, and there they have rankings for each one. I'm just looking at the overall because I think that's kind of the more important of all of these. But what are we thinking right now based off of this?
I mean, okay, I get like
Top two,
the first
easy lock.
The first guy that comes to my mind when I look at this is Trevon Diggs. Like the dude had 14 picks last year, and I get.
He had
He
10.
had 14 picks.
No, he didn't.
Are you
He
sure?
had 10.
From the Cowboys?
He had 10 interceptions.
Okay, whatever. That's still ridiculous. 10 interceptions.
From the Cowboys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and I get he gives up a lot of rating or a lot of yards and shit.
He
but
does.
like, the dude's a baller. You cannot put Trayvon Diggs not in your top 10 corners. If you ask somebody right now in your top 10 corners, they're not leaving Diggs out.
What do we think about Slay at 5?
I mean, he had a good ass year last year,
He did have a solid year.
Yeah.
and he's a vet. And he's proven.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Otherwise,
I
I
actually-
mean,
I
you look
actually
at those
don't even-
guys. What's that?
I love the J.C. Jackson.
I think so too. I really like that because he was a guy that came in, made an immediate impact, and he's, I think, really well respected among
Even with
receivers
Diggs,
in the
I put him
league.
at 10. I'd give him an 89 or 90.
Diggs.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised that Xavier Howard is not on this list either.
Yeah.
So
that's
that'd
facts.
be another.
He's an all-pro corner.
That'd be
multiple
another
Pro Bowl.
on the fence guy
'Cause
that
I looked
definitely
it
could
up,
have been
I'm
on here.
Like, dude, like
Yeah, it's
last year,
facts.
he had a good year last
Those
year.
are both guys that if you put them on this list, it would have made total sense. Like you wouldn't have
Yeah.
batted an eye at that for sure.
In 2020, he was an all-pro, had the 10 interceptions, had the most pass defenses in the league. Like
He was
last
almost
year.
Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Yeah, I mean,
Wow.
that's crazy. Yeah, dude, he was third in Defensive Player of the Year
Yeah.
voting
Yeah.
2020.
Yeah, that's
Pro,
right.
he was a Pro Bowler last year, All-Pro in 2020, All-Pro in 2018. Like, I'm kind of wow. I mean, listen, AJ Terrell's really good, but like we said earlier, like the proven players, like he's more proven than AJ Terrell is.
Yeah, and Cade,
It's kinda
you're
weird.
gonna like this one. Let's look at the top 10 safeties overall in the league. On top of this list, your boy, Ron Matthew. He makes that number 1 spot. Behind him is Derwin
Like
James, Buda Baker, Kevin Byard, Micah Hyde, Justin Simmons, Jesse Bates, Jordan Poyer, Harrison Smith, and Jamal Adams.
Who should be one, Jimmy, think?
I think Derwin James should be number 1. I mean, he's unbelievable. I think Justin
I would
Simmons,
agree with that.
Justin Simmons
and I'm not-
should be higher also. Like,
I'm not a
Justin Simmons
defensive
is
back, so I don't
good.
know the position like that. But
Like,
hearing the way people talk about Derwin James Jr. and watching him play, not that Teron Matthew is not an absolute stud, I would definitely move him to that number 1 spot. If it's me making the rankings, but obviously it's not. That's why we leave them to people who know the position better than myself.
Top 9.
we need Stan too.
He's coming up.
What's the score of that
stop
game?
it.
What's the score of that game?
7-5 Astros.
7-5.
Leave your baseball for later. Leave your baseball for later. But otherwise, I don't know this position well enough to be critiquing a lot of these guys.
I don't either.
I actually,
either.
to be honest with all the lists, like this is probably the one I most agree with, and I'm like the most I'm like comfortable looking at because
Most comfortable.
like I can't like really. Can you name? Can you
We're
think of
seven
somebody,
Seven
like-
through 10 are all even. That's all.
Worth noting that number 5 and number 8 are both on Buffalo, which is a pretty strong defensive backfield, seems like.
Yeah, and
Very.
I honestly didn't think Michael Hyde was going to get that big of that much of a rating.
Really?
91. Yeah. I didn't think he was going to get a 90.
They do seem stingy at some of the.
They
some of the
really
different positions.
did. I do like Jamal
kinda
Adams'
crazy.
rating too. I think
You think
90's
so?
perfect. I thought they would have given like a 94 or 93.
What do you think, Hunter?
I like it. I don't really know safeties. Like
You know,
that.
defensive lineman.
Yeah, this is
I-
you right up
this
for
is-
this.
Does know
This
defensive
is
linemen.
good.
And fellas, this is our other addition to the Madden 99 club. That would be number 1 on this
100%.
list.
Hey, Ron.
Aaron Donald, he's at 99 overall. Number 2, Cam Hayward from the Steelers.
Wow.
Number 3, that's a high ranking for him. Number 3 totally deserves to be there. Vita Vea, he is a stud. Comes in number 3, Jonathan Allen at number 4, at 92. Chris Jones at number 5. Then you go to DeForest Buckner. I thought he would have been higher personally. Kenny Clark, definitely a deserving name to be up there. Jeffrey Simmons, Fletcher Cox, and Michael Pierce. That rounds out your D-line. The Cameron Hayward one for me was definitely surprising, but I think, again, when you hear people talk about Cameron Hayward in the NFL, he's one of those guys that garners some of the utmost respect, I think, from other people that he plays against.
Most
like,
definitely.
Tough-ass
He
dude.
seems like a great guy.
Tough. He does
I
also
watch
seem
a
like
lot
a
of
great
his
guy.
training videos, and
That whole family.
Yeah. I'm going to say he's playing with
Cameron or Connor. Yeah.
Connor Hayward. Yeah, they're playing together.
Yeah.
Brothers, correct?
yeah, they have 3 or 4 sets of brothers on that team.
So crazy, man. You're right. They do.
Watts.
The
Hayward's.
Haywards.
Who's the DB? I think they're DBs. I think
That I don't know about.
there's another set of
Yeah,
brothers.
there's 3 sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, otherwise, though, Buckner is a stout part of that front in Indianapolis. I think he definitely deserves that spot. Now, those guys, all the other guys in front of him, though, have all definitely earned their keep as far as
Jonathan Allen, 92.
rating goes. That one was a little surprising to me. But, I mean, with some of these guys, man, you just got to really turn the tape on. Like, I'm going to be honest with you, I've never actually watched tape on these. You know what I mean? Like I see highlights and
I don't even know
watch
who
him
Michael
play
Pierce
games.
is, honestly, I'm not familiar with him.
No, I didn't know him at all either when I looked at this list. So I would be right with you. Otherwise, I feel like I know pretty much everyone on this list. Not too bad, but that is kind of surprising when you talk about top 10 in the league and you don't know somebody on the list.
Yeah,
that is interesting. But obviously, when they turned the tape on, he did something that.
Chris Jones, Chiefs.
Oh yeah. No, I'm trying to think. I think edge rusher maybe is definitely a separate category though. Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Edge rusher is definitely a separate category.
Is he on the edge?
Chris Jones.
He's the 95.
No, he's not.
Chris Jones is not.
He's inside.
No, Chris Jones is not. I was thinking of. I was about to say like a Khalil Mack or something like that, but I was like, no, TJ Watt. Yeah, but I'm thinking those are totally in a separate category. Yeah. So not gonna worry about that.
Chandler Jones.
All right, fellas, we got a couple more things here. I wanted to kind of react. We got through the big ones: Kirby Smart securing the bag, and Kyler Madden rankings. We've got a couple here. We're gonna go ESPYs first. Or we want to come back and talk a little bit more mascots, a little more mascot action. I got a good question for you guys today.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go that first. So we saw the video last episode of AJ Dillon absolutely destroying Elvis from the Kenosha Kingfish in Wisconsin. Now, if you look at this tweet here that I've got pulled up, it's Benny the Bull saying, personally, I wouldn't let that slide on the tweet. And AJ Quadzilla Dillon, who obviously was featured in that video, anytime, any place, he replies with, I don't know, what is that little GIF from? Is it Parks and Rec?
That's Ron Swanson, I think.
Yeah, it might
Can't
be.
really see from here.
So that is absolutely hilarious. I would love to see that personally. And BR Gridiron tweets and says, Chicago Bulls mascot Benny the Bull wants next. Pray for him with a laughing emoji and a praying hands. But, okay, number one question. How bad is Benny the Bull getting absolutely slapped in that one? And they're going to do it on a basketball court? That would be even worse.
I mean,
it's not going to end up good either way.
Sorry. You could just put a really buff dude in the suit.
Oh, you swap him out.
Yeah.
What if you... Oh, my
Wait,
goodness.
what if you put like Roquan Smith in the Benny the Bull? Dude, Roquan is fucking taking him out, dude. Roquan fucking Smith is taking him out, bro.
Taking out AJ Dillon?
I'll take my boy Roquan any day. Roquan Smith is raw.
What do you mean
I'm not
taking him out?
No, like if they ran at each other, I would take Roquan Smith all day, bro.
Okay.
All day.
AJ Dillon is a big motherfucker.
Roquan Smith is a freak.
That dude's thighs are as big as my freaking...
I don't care. I'm taking my boy Roquan any day. Any day.
Why did Roquan Smith just jump to your head right away?
Middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears.
Okay, so the Chicago tie-in, I guess. Yeah. I knew who he is. I just didn't know why. Like immediately, just like jumped right in.
Because it's Chicago.
Okay, fair enough.
Because we said switch in a buff guy for the first thing. Roquan Smith.
Well, you said that.
Chicago Bears. He said swap somebody into the Benny the Bull costume, and I said put Roquan Smith in there.
Yeah. Well, my question to you guys is going to be: say we can't flip the people. It's the regular mascots. What mascot has the best chance of winning the Oklahoma drill against AJ Dillon?
Like
who comes to mind? Just like
Sparty.
based off like based off of mascots. You think Sparty first?
100%.
He knocks him down and starts doing push-ups.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One-handed.
One-handed.
Can you knock out a couple for us?
Me?
Yeah.
The USC Trojan, maybe. I don't know.
The Trojan?
He's a pretty big guy. He's like a real person too. He like runs around on the horse and he like stands.
It's fun because we don't know who's in these costumes.
And the Seminole.
Hey,
the Seminole.
Imagine a Trojan Spartans showdown at East Lansing in September of 2024.
This is Sparta.
It's playing on the big board. They got the USC Trojan falling
Now the Spartans are going to be potentially playing. I think it's Gonzaga out in like an aircraft
They
carrier
are
or
for
something.
sure.
They are
They
for sure.
confirmed
Yeah,
it.
they
Yep.
did. So that's going to be an exciting one. But yeah, the USC MSU one would be
Trojan
crazy.
Spartans, dude.
Who else? Back to the question though. Who else? Is there anyone else who comes up? My underdog pick, the Stanford Cardinal. Stanford Cardinal can take a hit. I think you're not going to get a lot of offense out of it. Have you seen their mascot? You ever played NCAA with Stanford?
It's a tree.
Mascot mode?
Oh yeah, I think the tree, dude. AJ Dillon's not. It's a tree. If it's no, dude, I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. I like the tree. That's a pretty.
It's
good,
a man in a costume.
I don't know. It might have strong roots.
Did you ever play with Stanford and NCAA mascot mode?
No, I feel like.
Oh my goodness, dude! You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah. Remember, I'd be like Wichita State. You'd be the Stanford Trees.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
The Shockers.
The Yellow Jackets.
Yeah.
Or was this
the Shockers.
Shockers, right? Yeah.
Shockers.
Come on.
But they were a B. That's why I thought they were.
Yeah, but Stanford, you'd be running the routes with a tree, and there was no arms.
So
And then
just absorb it.
when they caught a ball, it would just get absorbed into like their branches. It's fantastic, dude.
Or when you like big stick them and they just like fall like a tree.
Literally, like a tree falling in the woods. And like you wouldn't know who had the ball. It was hilarious. They could have done so many trick plays. Because there's no carrying the ball. It was just like absorbed into their branches. It was fantastic. But that was one that I definitely wanted to talk about. That cracked me up. And I for one, I think I would love to see that. I would absolutely love to see that happen. Benny the Bull, can we get Benny and AJ just to go at it? Because Benny is very outspoken on Twitter, and he maybe needs a little humbling, huh? Over there in Chicago, they got to humble those guys. Let's move on though to the ESPYs. Just wanted a couple of these awards. I'm mixing a little bit of baseball for you guys to talk about.
No-brainer.
The best athlete in men's sports at the ESPYs 2022 goes to Shohei Ohtani. Don't think a lot of surprise there.
No.
After
He had my vote.
national phenomena that I guess he really was with baseball, right? He was,
Dude, he's Babe Ruth.
I say was as in like they're just obviously counting everything up and before. You know what I mean? Like he's still having an incredible career and he will go on to do so, no doubt.
Right.
But I'm just talking about the way he entered and just like the stardom that came to him so quickly. It felt like on both sides of the ball, we don't see people like that. The way he's throwing off the mound and then coming into the batter's box and just absolutely raking. Yeah, like you just don't see that out of a lot of guys. So I think this is a very obvious pick. The other nominees were Steph Curry, Aaron Rodgers, and Connor McDavid was the other one from the Oilers.
Yep.
Oilers.
McDavid, yep. He's. I mean,
if you had to pick a second place, who would it go to?
probably Curry, McDavid,
Steph Curry.
Stuff.
Steph Curry.
Steph Curry would be the number
So Shohei, Curry, McDavid, Rodgers.
Okay.
What did Rodgers do this year?
He won back-to-back MVP.
He did win back-to-back
Okay, well, yeah,
MVPs.
okay, but like he's won those before. How many rings has he won?
I agree.
Fair, but I mean, the back-to-back MVP thing is
Yeah,
tough.
No,
It's tough.
listen, I'm even acknowledging that.
But we've
Aaron
seen that
Rodgers.
before. We've hardly ever seen that.
No, the last people that have seen something like this was like 100 years ago. Babe
Yeah.
Ruth. Like,
True, very true.
And they still probably didn't see something like anything like that.
No.
No, you're probably right. Now, moving on, there's one other award that I did want to look at because we're talking about Steph Curry a little bit. The best team at the ESPY Awards this year goes to the Golden State Warriors.
Agree.
I think I would have totally agree with that. Other nominees for this one, Georgia football. Go Dogs. And then moving on, Oklahoma softball, which we're going to be talking about more here in a second.
They were raw.
One of the most dominant teams of any sport in the history of sports. That's where my stats are going to come in today. My stats of the day are coming from Oklahoma softball.
Wow.
Then we go LA Rams, also another nominee, Colorado Avalanche, Atlanta Braves, and the Chicago Sky.
Who?
WNBA. Come on, get with it. Get with it. Now we're not going to get taken
Shut
down.
down, baby.
Come on.
Come on.
But yeah, the Warriors did end up winning that one. Again, seemed like a pretty obvious pick, right?
Yeah.
Whoever's making these
Or the
votes,
Avs. The Avs were like completely dominant.
That is
like,
very true. Very true.
They played like the third least amount of playoff games ever to win the Stanley Cup.
Did they really? I did not know that. That's a good stat.
I didn't know that.
If that's true, you kind of head off the head
I
there.
believe
But
it was 17.
see, I believe there's not exactly
Or
instilling
18.
confidence in me right now.
I'll look it up right now.
You go for it. But I don't know. I don't know actually who makes these picks, who votes for these. But whoever does it, I feel like, I'm assuming they're anonymous, right? They gotta be. Yeah, maybe not.
I wonder
They
if
could
they
be
do like a voting
big
on
figures. Yeah, I don't know, dude. But
Never heard anything.
we can go into a little bit of our stats here. Kay kind of got us into it. I kind of gave my, my spiel about Oklahoma softball. This team was dominant. I did not get to watch them enough because I didn't know the tear they were on. And by tear, I mean the best season start in Division I softball history, 36-0. They won their first 36 fucking games. Absolutely unreal. They won 30 of the 36 games by the run rule, which for those of you who don't know is a mercy.
Yeah.
Meaning you scored so many runs the other team
You could do
gives
that in
up.
college? College softball? No. Really?
You can. And you know what makes it even more impressive is I'm pretty sure in college the other team has to basically give up and concede.
Really?
I don't believe
didn't
it's
know
like
that.
high school where it's like 10 after 5, 15 after 3 type shit like that. The other team has to be like, okay, yeah, this is enough. We've taken enough of a beating. We don't want to do this anymore. Right?
So it was 17, and they lost 5 times. So
Okay.
think about that. There's probably 4 or 5 series. They lost 1 game each series.
Yeah.
It's pretty dominant. Anyway,
I'm gonna spit out a bunch of facts here.
Okay.
All right. They outscored opponents 354-27 on the year.
What?
How much? What?
354-27 runs.
What?
What are these girls on? This is like when I tell you the most dominant season of sport, one of the most dominant I've ever seen. The pitching staff leads the NCAA, 0.6 ERA.
They lost, right?
What?
Or they win the World Series?
No, I'm pretty. They won it all. I'm pretty sure, right? I thought they did.
I'm almost
No, Tennessee was the one that was supposed to win it, and they choked. Tennessee baseball was
Tennessee
really good this
baseball.
year.
They were like 46-7 at one point,
They're
and they shit the bed in
unbelievable.
the tournament.
Yeah.
They lost to Notre Dame. They didn't make it to the
Double check for me. I don't know if I
College
believe they
World
won the whole thing. But listen to this. Oh my gosh, dude. 4 players have at least 10 home runs. And this is probably my favorite stat. Even if OU only hit solo home runs, no singles, they took all their singles, doubles, triples, or multi-RBI home runs out of the book, the Sooners would have still outscored its opponents more than 2-1.
They did win. They were 59-3 this year.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're pretty sure they beat everyone.
Wait, so they lost a couple games.
They were
did,
56-4
yeah.
in 2021.
What?
So did they go back to back?
They went back to back. And 2020 was canceled due to COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jim. Tennessee baseball was 57-9 to finish the year. In college baseball.
Are you done, Kobe, or are you still going?
I got one more here.
Okay.
Jocelyn Allo. She broke the NCAA D1 home run record with her 96th career home run in Hawaii. She's also currently slugging 1.36.
That's ridiculous.
Which is higher than the
What?
single season NCAA slugging percentage record by almost a whole 0.1, almost a whole tenth.
That's ridiculous.
She's slugging 1.36. I didn't even know you could do that.
What was her on base percentage?
That is a great question. The team on base percentage was a .504.
Shut up!
half the time they get on base.
Over half the time. It was .504.
Her on base percentage is probably like .989.
Wait.
Seriously, this girl's
That's
ridiculous.
unreal.
The team on base percentage
Was a .504. Dude, I tell you, I got the stats today, boys. I brought the stats today. That's
Holy
actually-
crazy.
That's unheard of.
We're gonna have to clip this.
That's unheard of.
This is like
That's ridiculous.
hey,
unbelievable.
one of the most dominant teams, one of the most dominant runs in all sport.
Unarguably.
yeah. I mean,
Unarguably.
I am. Let me say something. I am astonished that they did not give the award. Earlier,
They didn't get it?
Or no,
They didn't get the best team award. It was the Warriors.
Earlier, I was like, oh yeah, Warriors. Like, no, but no. I'm angry. This is not
And
okay.
it would have been
robbed.
it would have been a tough pick. It would have been a tough pick, admittedly, to usurp the Warriors. But man, after you read this,
no.
it's hard.
Dude, a point. Okay, you sold me at the
They lost.
500 team on base percentage. Like, are you kidding me?
That's great.
If you would
That's
have
awesome.
told me like 1 or 2 girls had a 500 OBP, I would have been like mind blown. This
Yeah.
is like a whole nother level of like.
Team.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyways, any other stats here?
Yeah,
What we
I'll
got?
get mine. I got mine right here. So, just simple NFL stat. I know we're all not Rodgers fans, and we just talked about back-to-back MVPs and all that, but this is kind of interesting. I don't know if you guys know this. Aaron Rodgers has the highest touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history at 4.3. He could throw a pick on 151 straight passes and still have a better mark than Favre in his Packers career.
That's terrifying.
151?
The first part of that stat makes sense, and then the second part of that, when you double
That's,
down, is unreal.
Are you
Yeah.
kidding?
151. That's like, you know what that makes me think of immediately is like when a quarterback has a very bad game and they look at the passer rating and they're like, you could have thrown the ball on the ground every time I had a better passer rating than that. That's like the same
Carson
type of
Wentz
stat.
had one of those.
He
last
did
year for the Colts.
He did.
It was horrible. I remember.
But
watching
And I had one little
151
one, yeah.
picks in a row.
Yeah.
And he can still.
I have one little hockey one.
And
from a
it's
hockey
crazy
guy.
because that's the way Favre played.
Yeah.
He was a high risk, high reward guy. He
threw a lot of
and
picks.
when you win games, you're not very known for the reward or the risk.
No.
You're known for the rewards,
Reward, right,
which is
yeah.
Lombardi.
So there's this one quick one. The Islanders won 19 straight playoff series from 1980 to 1984. I don't think
Lord.
we will ever see anything like that.
That is dominance.
19
They won
They
3
three-peat.
cups in a row.
Yeah, it
They
was
won
3
3
cups in a
They
row.
had to have,
Only
yeah.
team to ever do it. I'm
Ever.
pretty sure.
A
I
three-peat.
think there might have been one in the early.
Well, the
20s.
Tampa almost did it, but they lost though.
They almost.
Emphasis on almost. Jim, what you got?
Okay, so I have 2 facts. So let me ask you guys a question. So when you think of like
Presentation's always so
a
good.
group, like a group of animals that hunts together, what's the first thing you think of?
A pack.
Pack.
Of what?
Wolves?
Wolves.
Okay, perfect.
We're setting them up pretty well.
I'm setting this up. So, what would you assume? So every time like a pack of wolves goes after like a moose, what do you think their % success rate is?
Of getting that moose?
Yeah, or like just
Say
getting
like-
the kill.
One moose?
Do we know like what a pack of wolves
Say
consists of?
it's like
One moose.
Is it just
like,
a singular?
Say
yeah.
say it's just like each hunt is like a certain 6% success rate.
Okay. Okay.
What would you guess? I'm gonna get all you guys guess.
Okay, is it just one moose?
Say maybe like if the wolves eat,
They're going after one moose. Yeah, they're not going to be
But,
taking
like,
down
okay,
multiple.
and it's
say
like
it's like
six
3 or 4,
wolves, like
3 or 4, 5.
Okay, I'll give him a. I'd give him honestly like a 60%.
No,
Way lower.
I was
Way
gonna,
lower, way
I was
lower.
gonna guess 15.
30.
It's 19%.
Yeah, I was gonna guess
really?
15.
So now,
Because
Wow.
dude, I don't think you understand. Moose do not fuck around.
Dude,
no.
Moose are
Dude,
terrifying.
okay,
They're
so now-
huge.
So now, think about.
It's hard for wolves to
you've
take
heard
them down.
this success rate, right? Okay. You guys all thought wolves, right? You guys know the group of animals that hunt the best, the high success rate.
Well, give me a second. The highest
is it a
success
land
rate. Can we get a
animal?
hent?
Is it a land animal or is it in the?
There's hints all over the room right now. There's hints everywhere.
It's a shark.
It's a shark.
42%. Shout out to National Geographic and Shark Fest. I've been watching a lot of Shark Fest. I'm wearing the shirt today. I love sharks. 42% success rate when sharks hunt together. Sharks are the ultimate team, like animal fish like hunt combination. You know, whatever.
Animal fish hunt.
I'm wearing the
combination.
shirt. I love sharks.
I love sharks.
So and then my other one, it's a baseball stat. So
Word.
you guys know a lot of like baseball players. I'll let you guys all have a guess. Who do you think is tied for first all time in 3 home run games?
Wait, what?
Wait, tied for
This guy is tied for first.
Like he's how many games he's hit 3 home runs
Yes.
It's okay. So, can you give like a?
So obviously there's like one guy I don't know who actually is tied with him, but this guy is in the league. Well, I guess that's kind of he's in the league right now and he has 3 home runs. It is number 1 in MLB history. Oh, you guys have a guess.
in? Dude, I don't know.
Okay.
Cade might get it. He's in the league right now.
He did it earlier this year. Didn't he?
Oh, I can't. I'm not gonna say anything. I shouldn't have said that he's in the league. I kind of messed it up.
He did it again this year. It's the first person I thought about was Zavala from the White Sox, but I know it's not him. Shit, dude. I don't know. I know
Well,
he
what
did
is
it.
it?
I know he did it this year though. I
Who is
know he
it?
did it.
No clue.
Mookie Betts.
Really?
He has 6 3 home run
Betts?
games, dude. He's like 28.
Didn't he do it this year, right?
He has
did it this year,
6
right?
3 home run games.
Why did I not know he hit like that?
Well, Mookie Betts is like a legend. Like he's
I know he's crazy, but like I didn't know he was hitting for power like that. Is the thing.
Mookie. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I'm not locked in on Mookie.
Did he like
man.
this year, Junior?
Yeah,
or no?
I guess not.
Mookie's having a hell of a year. Yeah, Mookie's playing very well.
Good for Mookie,
He's an
man.
all-star. No
Hell of a name too.
He's not really in the MVP race just because Shohei and Judge. It's a 2-horse race.
Well, he's been hurt too, and Judge and Shohei have been healthy for the most part. Knock on wood. It's not wood, but
That's
he
metal. Attaboy. Cement. And there's the there. Hunter, you got anything for us?
Yeah. Been sorry about that. Been in a big golf swing lately. Guess what age Tiger Woods hit his first hole in one? Take a guess.
Oh, it was
5.
no, it was
Okay.
it was 13.
8.
Wow.
Is it actually?
8 years old. Are you joking? 8
I don't know,
I've been golfing for-
a real par course, like yeah,
Yeah,
real-
putt. It was
Yeah.
insane.
No, but like
You know what I mean though, like
Yeah,
from,
yeah.
It'd be from kids' tees though, I assume.
But
probably.
still,
but
I
still,
mean,
yeah,
yeah,
still.
That's ridiculous.
You
I don't
got
even have a whole
8
one.
years old.
dude, I've been playing golf for like a good 6 years.
I think we were hitting off the tee at 8,
yeah.
baseball wise, right? Or was that kid pitch by?
I
then?
wasn't making hole in ones.
I definitely.
I wasn't
I tell you
making
what. I tell you what. We
hole-in-ones.
weren't doing.
We were turning
Yeah.
double plays though
a few of them. LO Dragons.
to win it.
So
Really?
We did.
hear the story.
I was at second, and you were at first.
Hell if I know.
Line drive to second. Guy in first championship game. I catch it,
Oh, I
I
know
reach
you're
out,
talking
catch it, and throw it to Kobe. We win the championship. My dad comes out and he's like throwing us in the air. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
We thought it was the sickest thing ever. Went to Eva's after probably.
I probably did. We probably did. We probably beat Eva's in the championship and then
Yeah.
went to Eva's rub it in.
No, we played Eric Joe's team and had a 3-hour lightning delay.
that was Eva's.
I'm talking about the Dragons though. I'm talking about Tire Warehouse for that one.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Never mind. Yeah, but no, Eric Joe, that was Eva's.
Yeah.
Shout out Eric Joe on
Yeah.
Air Force, playing shortstop for Air Force right now. Eric,
Shout out, baby.
love you, brother. Otherwise, that's all we've got for today, fellas. Thanks for joining me. I'm sweating my ass off. I'm about to get out of this studio. Thanks for joining me. If you've made it this far, shout out to you.
Shout out.
Shout out.
Shout out. Whoever that one guy is who's calling us mean names, shout out to you, man. Shout out.
You can't be doing that here. Division 1 Rejects. Thank you for listening.
See you later.
Have a good weekend.